something really difficult. As earlier, they were being removed from the other side of the road, and when police are clearing them from one side of the road, they're running to the other, and it's turning into a merry-go-round here, a serious security threat which the police officers now are looking into with serious consideration. The hail of stones is not really a good thing for what is going on here, and we are seeing the Sunny machine has also begun running, so probably the issue of going to the other side to begin the demolition will begin in earnest. But then again, other than the demolition that is going on here, Watson, there is a serious issue of security where some of the young men outside are struggling as much as possible to get in and be able to take what is inside this building without considering the security threat that this is posing to the situation. So we are following this up, Watson, as keenly as possible, and we will be able to bring you the information as and when we receive it.
Well, thank you very much there, Leila Mohammed, on the site where the Airgate Centre, formerly known as Taj Mall, is currently being demolished. But there seems to be another challenge as Sunny, as he's popularly known as, that is the demolition truck, continues with its work. And perturbed by what's going on, there seems to be a security concern as rowdy youth attempt to access the building or the site in an attempt to steal property, because the building was occupied as of this morning, and we have seen some of the occupants and business owners in the Airgate Centre or Taj Mall trying to clear property from the building. Of course, it is a huge structure, as Leila Mohammed took us around. Of course, at the basement, we saw some of the rowdy youth access the building, get into some of the shops and steal whatever item they could carry. However, the police had to shoot in the air. We yet to confirm whether they were live bullets, but they shot in the air to disperse the crowds. And as Leila Mohammed told us, and there have been 2 arrests. 2 young men have been arrested as they tried to steal from the Airgate Centre. At least some of the structures inside or shops inside the building. Remember, this is something that started at 6 a.m. There was heavy police presence, and as dawn opened up and day started and people headed to their work destinations, we have seen the crowds, the curious onlookers growing, and I think that has been a security concern. And in any time we should be seeing probably the police deployment increase in the area to avoid the number of police at the venue being overpowered by the curious onlookers. Some of them actually getting rowdy and attempting to access the building. Our reporter tells us that she and the rest of the crew are not safe, as the onlookers and rowdy youth, let's call them that, they have been throwing or pelting stones into the site, trying maybe to, send away the demolition team or even the police so that they can access the building. We do not know their intention, but we have seen some of them getting away with some few small items, some of which they can carry, as well as the business owners in the building and the shops inside trying to clear from the property. We spoke to the business manager of the Airgate Centre earlier, and he said that there was indeed a 14-day notice from the government, and after the 14-day deadline elapsed, there was a mum period and business continued until this morning at 6 a.m. when the first demolition truck arrived at the site, accompanied or supervised by police officers. And as the day went on, we saw curious onlookers going to the site, some of them using the overway on the highway, trying to see what's happening inside there. We have Kenya Power staff also working to dismantle generators and transformers in the building so as to clear way or pave way for the demolition to continue. We've not yet heard from the management or the directors of the land. And as we can see, there's more demolition going on at the fence. And this, as I am told, these are actually guys trying to steal this fence, which is, I think, a metal fence, and they're trying to make away with metal. And the police look helpless at this particular moment, just looking on and seemingly cannot do anything. The crowd looks to be bigger than the police can handle at this particular moment. Or maybe they're just allowing and helping the demolition crew with that. But we understand now there's a lot of rowdy youth at the site, and safety and security of both the demolition team and our crew seems to be a concern. And we, of course, they are making away with the fence. This is metal. We know there's scrap metal business that is very big in the capital. They've managed to actually throw stones at the police, and the police are just almost helpless at this particular moment. They seem to be enough to handle the crew at the moment. The traffic jam on our screens, of course, we see it's building and has been building since dawn. And once again, these are live pictures coming to you from the Airgate Centre, where demolition is going on the building. But these are not part of the demolition team. These are rowdy youth at the site, and they are trying to steal the metallic fence for the scrap business. And the police seem to be allowing them to do just that. I don't believe this could be angry residents who feel the building was constructed illegally. They appear to be getting away or stealing the metal bars that make the fence. And these are live pictures coming to you from the Airgate Centre. We have asked our crew on the ground, Shamason Osiago, the cameraman, and Leila Mohammed, our reporter, to stay at a distance because the onlookers, some of them rowdy, were throwing stones onto the site and were creating some unsafe conditions for us to do our work. But the police seems to be just watching as the crowd break the fence and make away with the metal bars, and that is for scrap metal. I hope we'll be getting Leila Mohammed shortly, and those are actually seats from some of the shops inside, and that is the kind of conditions the security agencies and the demolition team are having to work under, where we have rowdy youth who want to steal from the property. And this is something that has started in the last 1 hour. Demolition, which started at 6 a.m. was going on without any hitch or disruptions. But at this particular moment now, attention has been divided with keeping the building safe and the property. We see some of the police officers launching tear gas, even with their hands, to the rowdy youth as they attempt to clear the site. And this could actually affect the demolition exercise that has been going on from 6 a.m. this morning. So these are live pictures, and maybe we can just listen in to some of the sounds coming from the Airgate Centre property and the environs. Well, just in case you're joining us, the latest is that Airgate Centre, formerly known as the Taj Mall, is currently going some demolition exercise. Part of it is actually coming down, and this exercise started at 6 a.m. this morning. Our reporter on the ground, Leila Mohammed, informs us that police have had to fire tear gas at a rowdy crowd that is trying to surge and access the building, trying to steal property because it was occupied as of 6 a.m. this morning when the demolition exercise started. Earlier on, we had live pictures of some of the business owners and the business manager of the entire building trying to clear out some of the shops. Police have tried also to clear anybody from the building as they allow the owners of the businesses to handle their business, clear the property. Now, many of you are asking if there was a notice. Yes, there was, and the business manager of Airgate Centre confirmed this to us, saying that there was a 14-day notice to vacate the premises, and earlier on the director or the owners of the premises had said that they were not leaving the building because they were there legally, but the demolition and the 14-day exercise, the deadline ended, and there was a period where there was no communication between the government and the premises or the business owners, and at that particular moment, business was going on as normal until this morning when we saw the fast truck arrive at the Airgate Centre and the demolition started. And we have been seeing the live pictures of that going on, but that has been interrupted or disrupted by rowdy youth who are trying to access the building, access some of the shops inside the building and steal the property. We have seen some of them actually bringing down a fence. The police have had to launch tear gas once again for, I think, the upteenth time that they have done that, as well as fire in the air to clear the rowdy youth, and we'll be calling them suspected thieves because they were actually in the building and were making way with some small items that they could carry. And Leila Mohammed also confirmed to us that there have been arrests. 2 people were arrested inside the building. They are not confirmed whether they are business owners, but they were trying to scamper with a bit of stuff or property that could belong to some of the shops inside the building. Now, we'll be breaking regular programming as the day continues to bring you the latest from the demolition of that, and that is one of the generators. I will be taking you back there shortly. This is one of the transformers or generators that has to be cleared from the building so as the demolition exercise can continue. We also see some scaffolding on the Airgate Centre, something to show that that shows that probably the construction was going on, or they were in the process of clearing. We are yet to understand why there is scaffolding in part of the Airgate Centre, but he is popularly known as Sunny, and that is the demolition truck, and it continues with its work demolishing that part of the Airgate Centre since morning. And indeed, at the same part that demolition was going on, there's still guys accessing the demolition part of the structure, and the police appear to be allowing this to happen. We cannot confirm if these are hired people working with the demolition crew or these are actually people stealing from the shop. We'll be confirming that shortly. Of course, our crew on the ground have had to bear the difficult conditions, having to get to safety. There's tear gas, we understand, in the air, and our crew has been taking a seat back, at least our reporter Leila Mohammed, to allow this to go on. And currently the police seem to be helpless indeed, but we were informed that there were quite a heavy deployment in the area, but it seems they're overpowered and guys have actually breached the security fence as well as the security line formed by the police and actually accessed, and they're stealing, and there's dust and tear gas in the area, and that is why probably you will not be hearing Leila Mohammed as she tries to get herself to safety and of course ready to give us the latest from the site. Tear gas, of course, once again launched to ensure that the site is clear. Let's just listen in. Probably the police have just resorted to also shouting orders and screaming at the rowdy protesters. Just listen in. Live pictures coming from the Airgate Centre, formerly known as the Taj Mall, where demolition is currently underway but interrupted by looters and rowdy youth who are trying to access the building and steal some from some of the shops inside the building. I will be bringing you up to date with what has happened. Demolition started at 6 a.m. this morning, and the first truck, of course, hit the wall at about 15 minutes past 6 a.m. this morning and has been going on, and there have been police deployment, heavy police deployment in the area, and businesses were still open as of last night, and this morning the trucks started, and the business manager at the Airgate Centre confirmed to us that there had been a notice of vacation, a 14-day notice, but that was not followed, and that is why the trucks are here this morning. Of course, the latest that has been happening is that the looters have seemingly overpowered the security forces at the ground at this particular moment, and we've seen police barely doing anything as the looters make away with private property from the Airgate Centre. Now, from the studio and of course from the Airgate Centre Mall, we'll be bringing you the latest from the Airgate Centre demolition that is going on. As from now, let me take you back to normal programming.